in the news again, the world news, and again, it's nothing good. It's been a while since anything good has come out of Canada that has made the news. And I refer to, again, the curse that I feel has been imposed on the country ever since the country started assaulting preachers and pastors and all that stuff. But we can get on to this big story here about these two brothers, Damien Sanderson and Miles Sanderson from Saskatchewan. One is 31 and the other is 30. They killed 10 people, injuring 18 with a knife. I mean, first of all, man, how do you get all those people dead with a knife? I mean, my goodness, you hear about that type of murder with guns and everything, but these guys used a knife, just killing a bunch of people with a knife. I mean, and this just goes back to it's funny. I mean, it's not funny, and the people who have been injured, I hope they have a speedy recovery, and I pray for the families of the victims. This is really terrible. I personally think this is the curse, but I mean, we can get into that later. But what I want to get into right now is, I mean, it's ironic that this is happening so soon after Justin the Tar-faced Mac Daddy Trudeau and his government made owning a gun in Canada so much harder, and on top of that, uh, making it a crime to have the ability to defend yourself against attack like this with a weapon or something like that. If you are attacked in Canada and let's say you kill your attacker, you will get into trouble for that. I mean, you might as well call the police, but I mean, in a place like Saskatchewan, in those rural areas, especially those First Nations areas, which are really those places they're like third world countries. And I don't care who gets it. It's the truth. You ever set foot on a First Nation reserve, they're like third world countries, and it's a shame. It's a shame. Those are the only parts of Canada that are completely 100% owned by the federal government, and they are just like third world countries. I'd rather live in Haiti or Somalia than live in one of those reserves. Some of them don't have electricity, running water. How are you supposed to call police? In fact, in some of those areas, the chiefs who run those reserves don't even allow the police to operate there. But anyway, these boys here, they're still on the run. One has been found dead. One of the suspects, according to this article, in a series of stabbing attacks in Saskatchewan that killed 10 and injured 18, has been found dead. These two brothers, Damon Sanderson and Miles Sanderson, were wanted by the Saskatchewan RCMP in connection with the attacks that took place across the James Smith Cree Nation, Indian Reserve, and the neighboring village of Weldon on Sunday. But as a news conference Monday afternoon, Saskatchewan RCMP Assistant Commissioner Rhonda Blackmore said forensic investigators had found Damien Sanderson's body at the James Smith Cree Nation. We can confirm he has visible injuries. These injuries are not believed to be self-inflicted at this point. That's what Rhonda Blackmore of the RCMP has said. Damien's brother Miles is still at large. He is expected to be injured and may be looking for medical attention. Even if he is injured, it doesn't mean he's not dangerous. And the scary thing about it is that some of the people that he killed were just random people. This is just random acts of murder. He didn't know some of them. They say some of the people he did know, and others he didn't know, just stabbed them up. I don't know how he stabbed them. I don't know what, but like Jack the Ripper, and they can't find him either. I mean, how can these guys must be pretty smart. I mean, imagine you're going to kill all these people. It's 18 injured, 10 dead. I mean, well, that's what, 18 plus 10, 28, I believe. Yeah, 28. 28 people being affected with a knife, and the police still can't find him. It's the curse, I'm telling you. It's the curse. It's the curse. It's the curse. It's the curse. Crime is out of control in Canada. It is making the news now. Canada used to be a peaceful country, used to be a safe country, used to be a happy country, used to be a prosperous country. Now Canada's economy is in the toilet. Nobody can barely afford food. People are starving. Gas is through the roof. You go to cities like St. Catharines, Ontario, which used to be Ned Flanders, white picket fence community. You go downtown St. Catharines, people pushing buggies, some guy screaming to himself on drugs, drug needles everywhere, people, some boyfriend and girlfriend fighting on the street. I mean, police cars everywhere, sirens everywhere. And it's not just the big cities, it's little towns. Look at this, stabbing all these people in small town Saskatchewan. It's not just the big cities, and it's not just immigrants either, or native people. A lot of it is white people too. So before any of you bitch you people come up there and go, oh, immigration. No, no. I remember when I moved to Hamilton, Ontario, one of the most, anyway, I won't use the word, but anyway, I mean, and I'm thankful for the moments I lived there, because I think living there made me a man. But when I lived there, it was the Chinese and the Indians doing their university and all this, even the black people in university. And it was the white people on drugs, walking the streets, getting arrested, getting carded, all this sort of craziness going on. I think it's the curse. And I personally think God has cursed Canada because of how Canada treated all those pastors during coronavirus. And I think this is a long time coming. Canada has been going downhill socially ever since the 60s. That's just my opinion. And now it's come to a head. I mean, you hear about Canada now in the news. You don't hear about anything good. When's the last time someone in England or Australia or America heard anything good about Canada in the news? If it's not this stabbing, it's the truck convoy, which I greatly supported. It's some corruption from Justin the Tarface Mac Daddy Trudeau and the SNC Lavalin. I mean, you don't hear anything good coming out of Canada anymore. Nothing good. Nothing. Canada used to bring out some of the greatest singers, and I don't know. I don't know if Justin Bieber would be considered a good singer. I don't know any of his music, but Celine Dion, Shania Twain, all these people. You don't hear about anybody like Drake, all this. So you don't hear everything. You only hear about negative things coming out of Canada now. And again, I want to send my condolences to those people who've been affected by this evil, wicked, murderous brothers. They need to be found and they need to be punished, severely punished, severely punished. Curse or no curse, this is wrong. But again, it shows that you can ban and make it as hard as possible to own guns. People are just going to use other forms to kill people. If people want to kill, they're going to find a way to kill. If it's not using a knife, it's going to be using a truck, like that incel in Toronto. Remember the incel? That's another story that came out of Canada that made world news. Nothing good, no good news ever comes out of Canada has ever come out of Canada in years. In years. Every time people hear about Canada now, it's someone's been killed, someone's unhappy, some riot took place. I mean, it's some government corruption. Canada's going in the toilet. It's in the toilet, and it's the curse. Years and years and years and years of bad decisions and bad choices and bad mindsets and bad leaders. And these past 2 years treating pastors like Art Pulowski and all those poorly. And God has put a curse in our country. He has. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. It's true. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I step out the street. I see the curse to myself. The streets are more unhappy. The people look more unhappy. I feel more unsafe in the suburbs of Toronto. That's just how it is. And For these people to use a simple knife and damage all those people just goes, especially after the government has made it much harder for people to own guns, to protect themselves. And this happened so soon after that. And not only this stabbing, another famous individual in Halifax, some rapper or something, got stabbed. The streets of Toronto, a bunch of women got run over by a white van. That incel, Alec Manassian. You know, it's almost like God. I think God supports the right to bear arms, because He's showing us. Look, I'm going to show you what happens when innocent people can't defend themselves, and the only people who have access to dangerous weapons are bad guys. These people only had a knife, and they managed to kill 10 people, injure 18. What kind of craziness is that? What kind of with a knife? I mean, with a knife, not even the Bloods and the Crips can kill so many people with just a knife. I mean, it just goes to show you how bad people can adapt when you take away the guns. And if you take away the knives, which some people say, well, let's get rid of knives, they're going to adapt somewhere else. Get rid of the cars, they're going to find a way. Bad people will find a way to kill. It's not a matter of getting rid of the weapons. It's about having a society of law and order and economic prosperity and justice and an ability for people to be hopeful so that they don't go into crime. Look at Switzerland. Switzerland has more guns than even America. More gun ownership than even in America. Switzerland, yes, Switzerland has more gun ownership than even America. You don't hear about shooting and killing and murdering up there in Switzerland because the Swiss people are sensible. They've got good morals. They've got good judgment. They've got a good standard of living. They've got good morals. And they've got a good government too, which support good direct democracy, good democratic system. The people feel heard and understood. They feel more hopeful. The country's prosperous. That's why you don't hear about that crap going on up there in Switzerland, but you go to a place like some of these Caribbean countries where gun ownership is almost impossible. You're not allowed to have a gun. England, Britain, you're not allowed to own guns just willy-nilly like that. Canada, look at these places. Violence is going up. Violence and craziness is going up. Look at Chicago. It's extreme. You can't have a gun in Chicago, I don't believe. New York City, crime is going up. Crime is going up. Has nothing to do with the weapons, has nothing to do with guns, nothing to do with the guns whatsoever. It's the people. It's the people. And it's not just the people, it's society. People feel hopeless. It's the people. It's you Canuck people. Y'all have lost any sense of decency. And that's why these people have killed all these guys. Anyway, I've said enough on this. Really breaks my heart to see what's happening to my country. Really does. People say, oh, you hate your country. You're always beating down on Canada. You're always beating down on Canada. You're always beating down on Canada. Let me tell you something. I don't have to call myself a Canadian, you know. I don't have to tell people that I'm from Canada. I don't have to set foot in Canada. I can have nothing to do with Canada today if I wanted to. I have the ability to move myself to Florida, to Texas, to Georgia, to any other place in America if I wanted to. Love my country. And I hate to see this happening. The reason I keep talking about Canada is because I love the country. You don't hear me talking about China or Russia, which also have problems, or North Korea, because I don't care about those places. Ukraine, I don't care about those. I don't care about, I care about people, but I don't necessarily care about the country itself. It's not my country. I love my country. That's why I keep talking about it. And that's why I keep harping on about things, because we can do better. We're not subhumans. Canadians aren't subhuman mongrel animals who third world, nothing, can't do anything right. We come on, man. We can do much better than this. But I do believe that we have a curse in our country right now. And it is years of bad decisions, and I think we're just things are just going to keep getting worse. Who knows why these two native Indian people from Saskatchewan decided they are going to kill, or they're going to try and kill 28 people. Many of them they don't even know. What brings these people in Saskatchewan, in a country like Canada, where you never hear about these sorts of things? I mean, you don't hear about people. I mean, even in the ghettos of Detroit, you won't be killed for no reason. You will have a reason. Someone will have a reason to kill you in Detroit. Walking down Detroit, even if you just have a suit on you and you look like you got money on you, that's the reason. But for these people to just kill for no reason, especially in a country like Canada, what in the hell would cause these people to do this? I mean, it's insane. I think it's a curse. I will pray for your soul. I will pray for, not because I like you, but because you are diseased. You are diseased, Miles Sanderson. You and your brother, you're diseased. You're diseased. You have been caught up in something evil, something wicked. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think it has something to do with the curse in our country, and you have been caught up in it. So I will ask if you want forgiveness. I will pray for you, and then maybe your soul, your diseased soul, will be cleaned, and you will, even though your life on earth will be finished, you can go before God when you die in the afterlife with a clean slate. With a clean slate. And if you don't want to turn yourself into me, turn yourself into a pastor. Turn yourself into a pastor. Turn yourself into if you want to turn yourself into imam, I don't know, the rabbi, turn yourself into a religious figure, preferably a Christian figure, and let yourself be given the opportunity to ask for forgiveness before you serve your prison sentence. Because you will have to answer for what you have done in the afterlife, and you want to go in with a clean slate. And I mean, the best way to do it would be not for the police to have to hunt you down and find you, and then you're serving prison sentence, and then you want to ask for some kind of fake forgiveness, all this. No, that's not, I don't know if that's going to work. You just attacked 28 people and killed 10 of them, injured 18. That type of falseness isn't going to work. You need to turn yourself in. And before you do it, you need to have the opportunity for somebody to pray, who is a strong Christian or a Christian figure, to pray for you and ask for forgiveness from God. Because something happened to you, Miles Sanderson, something dreadful. And it's no excuse for what you've done. You've just killed innocent people. I mean, the news is saying that many of the people he has killed, he didn't know. That is a grave offense. Let me tell you, I think it's even worse. The worst thing you could do is kill someone for no reason whatsoever. Nothing. The person did nothing to you. That is the most dangerous, most depraved individual out there. You better ask forgiveness. You may not believe in God. I don't know. You might believe in voodoo, but you better ask for some forgiveness. I'm going to tell you that right now. You've been caught up in something bad, disease, and that goes for all the other people out there, not just in Canada but around the world, who just killed. No, you brothers. Nah, you're not my brother. But you need to ask for forgiveness. Anyway, that's what I've got to say on this issue, and this is I mean, soul. I will pray for, not because I like you, but because you are diseased. You are diseased, Miles Sanderson. You and your brother, you're diseased. You're diseased. You have been caught up in something evil, something wicked. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think it has something to do with the curse in our country, and you have been caught up in it. So I will ask if you want forgiveness. I will pray for you, and then maybe your soul, your diseased soul, will be cleaned, and you will, even though your life on earth will be finished, you can go before God when you die in the afterlife with a clean slate. With a clean slate. And if you don't want to turn